Hey slush puppies, hey guys! Hope you're having a good day and welcome to part 4 of Megaplex 2019 PowerPoint Karaoke. If you like this kind of stuff and want to see more, make sure you've hit the subscribe button on your YouTubey thing. Also, please consider checking out Megaplex Online in a few days' time, which is going to be chock full of goofy content. Their schedule of events is available and it's worth checking out. Enjoy the video.
On your marks, get set, go!
Good evening, class. Welcome to class on Fursuit Safety, brought to you by yours truly and yours also truly. Today we're going to be rolling around with how not to deal with your fursuit, including with brushes and dangerous heats.
Okay, so when dealing with fursuit safety, you probably should not trip over all this M&M on the ground. Or the coal if you're down in the coal mines. You probably want to be careful like that. You know, if you're wearing a pair of good pair of heels, you want to watch where you're walking. Don't be like this man. Live a better life than him, because it could result in injury.
Inherently, fursuits are the most deadly item in the state of Kentucky. It's principally because Wile E. Coyote has retired from the service of Acme Industries, so now he doesn't really have nothing else to do. He's currently in Myrtle Beach, retiring in a very big house. Yes, fortunately, he's been taking his spinny wheel license. Now, all we have left is his old mothballed ear to attach to our fursuit. But do remember, although these are comically large and incredibly great for storage in your pocket, they do have a tendency to melt your shoes off. As you can see, yes, exactly. Machinery is the main culprit in melting off your shoes. Secondary, powdered haulage makes actually powdering your face and putting on a good base a bit of a pain when you're not actually putting some roofing over your head. Of course, you need to sun protect your roof and insulate your harbor. Yeah, and insulate your harbor. Because we do know that when Wile E. Coyote retired to Myrtle Beach, he actually bought a cruise liner. And that's our next con. The problem is he's a bit of a cheap scoundrel, so he doesn't want to pay for waterproofing. Now, of course, we have to worry about electrical and fire, which, when put together, you have an electrical fire, which is a secondary threat compared to tripping over your oversized pants.
And carrying off of that electrical fire, you can see temperature versus time, kind of how quickly the fire is going to burn, how quickly all of your belongings go up in flames. So we're going to start down here, solid, getting hotter, so kind of cool yourself off a little bit, and it's going to go up into the melting phase. So then everything's going to start to melt, and then we're going to go in solid, changing to liquid essentially. So everything's going to turn into milk. And then we're going to go on over to liquid getting hotter. So you're making hot chocolate then. And then changing to gas. There's a gas leak in the house. And then we're out to the boiling point. And he decided to make a pot of pasta while this electrical fire is going on. And it just keeps getting hotter, and then time.
When you're running out of time, because when you run out of time, you get a gun pointed to your head with a cat in the middle. And the only problem with the cat is because the cat is actually pointing the gun away.
Let's ask about it. What if this happened to you? What would you do?
Die.
Yes.
I would run for my life. It's probably the peef.
You in the back here, sir.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Yes! Become perpendicular!
Yes, over here, good sir.
Is this what happens after you boil away?
When you boil away the time, yes, you start messing with the stigmatism you have now.
It's cataracts!
Compared to the electrical fire and tripping over your teeth, having cataracts isn't actually that big of a problem. But when you start messing with the cat, you start messing around with the piao-piao. And when you start messing with the piao-piao, you lead to an endless existential void that was my Tuesday. And as you can see, I run away from my problems.
So, in conclusion,
really used.
You're going to want to put on eyewear, a good pair of shades, a good pair of eyeglasses, contacts don't count, a dust mask, a bandana will work, just pull that up over the mouth, safety gloves, no one needs gloves, with protective boots, kind of like I have on, so everyone stop at the store and get a pair for yourself, earplugs, put your fingers in your ear, saves you some time and money, and then
This is a high visibility vest.
okay, I thought it said you're gonna go and pick up some Victoria's Secret clothing.
That's it. And if you really want to rustle some jimmies, you should get some Generation 6 Killa armor from all the way from Interchange, because apparently it's super hard to loot Kiba in Interchange, but you really don't want to be running around on your jimmies and your jammies and your johnnies and your johnsons.
Don't trip on your pants.
Yes, most important.
Yes,
Yes. Can you confirm for your picture a few slides ago? Can you confirm? Yes, thank you. Can you confirm the scientific hypothesis that if you mess with the meow meow, you get the cow cow?
How many meow meows in the room?
Yes.
Dear God, we need to evacuate.
You really probably should.
Yes, to the pupper up front and then the pupper down back.
Huh? Me?
Yes.
So, that photo, it looks like quite the catastrophe.
And now the pupper down back.
So I actually have a question on a couple of slides back. In the temperature, that was actually perfect, temperature versus time on slide 4. When thinking about the concept of fursuit safety, which was the topic, at what point along the temperature versus time curve do you suspect is the highest point you could get before fursuit safety is a concern?
all the way up here, temperature versus time.
That's a pretty high point. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
I really don't want to ask 2 questions, but I've got some friends in fursuits out there, and I don't want them to boil away.
Yeah.
What can I do to keep my furry friends safe?
Thank you. You said friends.
I have some research from the Stanford Institute of Puppers. And to assure fursuit safety, you want to put your funyuns at 400s, and then you want to put the liquid chamber gas all the way down to solid getting hotter. This DV in temperature actually reduces the internal temperature and starts a cryogenic process called I'm really cold.
Is that the Latin name?
The Latin name is Frisius. I really don't like this.
All right, I think that was our last question. Thank you guys very much. Thank you both. Amazingly done. Excellent use of your impromptu pointer. I love it.